They're witches.
So.
They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Cause she's a witch.
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch.
I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, welcome to Beyond Authentic, where we are going to be doing some tarot readings tonight. My name is Lisa. If you are new here, welcome. Please do the YouTubey things. Hit that lovely like button and why not subscribe while you're coming in, and then press your bell and change your settings to all. That way YouTube should let you know each and every time that I do in fact go live or upload a video. Also, I do have to say, we have a membership here on the channel. It's called our they're called Crows, and it's for $2.99 a month or £5 a month, depending on which way you would like to support the channel. I'll put the details into the live chat. Yeah, you get yourself access to videos a little bit early, but also our live streams, our members only live streams, where we talk about anything and everything, and you can get yourself tarot readings and all sorts of other bits and pieces in there. So do consider that if you would like to support the channel. Now then, I'm just making sure that I've got the on-screen chat working, because as ever, I have to be in the chat and on the chat for it to be able to actually work. It doesn't happen beforehand, unfortunately, but there we go. I've got that up and running now. And yeah, so how would you get a reading on this channel? Well, unlike some channels, we don't actually have a list. All you need to do is wait until you hear this noise. That means that a round is open. When a round is open, it means exactly that. That is your moment to get yourself in and pop your question into that live chat. Once you've done that, one of those people will be selected at random. When that happens, you know what you need to do. I will read for that one person, and then everybody else go along. Go ahead and select and copy your question. That way you're ready for the next round. As I say though, if you would like to guarantee your reading is up first or up next, you can always send it through in the form of a super chat. That will come through automatically, and then you will get the very next reading slot. A super chat of £8 or $10 or above, or the equivalent, will get you a longer 6 or 7 card reading. Hopefully all of that makes sense. Good evening to Patricia. You are still here and smiling after 14 months. Thank you ever so much for being here. Also, I've got to say hello to Ethelred the Unready, to our lovely Ed. And both Patricia and Ed are moderators. So how can you tell who the mods are? Their names, when you look at it in the live chat, are actually in blue. Okay, that's how that works. Their names are in blue. Now then, you'll also find some other people's names are in green. Those people are members on the channel, and the members also have a little coffee cup logo next to their name. Not because you understand that I am, slightly addicted to coffee, she says, with this rather lovely silver coffee pin that I just attached to the microphone today. But yeah, coffee. We even have a weight loss program, and we had coffee rubbed steaks last night, and they were delicious, and details of that are up on our other channel, which is Beyond Authentic, like this, and then Health. So if you look for Beyond Authentic Health, that comes up, and we'll be going live tomorrow at 6:30. Right then, I think I've done all of the usual. The details for what you need to know about readings are just on the bottom of the screen, just down here, except to say that we do have a few, well, we do have some rules on the channel. Let's be honest, we do actually have some rules. And yeah, how do you know what those rules are? Well, there's a little video that will tell you. Before we go on, here's the housekeeping. Tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counselling advice. If you're looking for support in these areas, please do seek out professionals in these areas. You do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a tarot reading on this channel. And remember, please don't share private information here or anywhere else on the internet that you wouldn't want anyone or everyone finding out about now or any time in the future. Yes, indeed. You wouldn't want anyone to know your private information out there, would you? So again, that is why we say, do please keep your personal security personal. There we go, everybody. Don't forget, you can also get private readings over at beyondauthentic.co.uk, which is my website. Hello, Holland. Welcome to you, my friend. Hello. I don't know who's going to be here tonight. Here in the UK, it is something called Wimbledon, which is one of those 2-week periods every year where people lock themselves into their very hot, warm houses and sit themselves down in front of the TV and basically don't move for hours and hours and hours on end on a daily basis. Some of them will be eating strawberries and drinking Pims. I still to this day don't quite know what a Pims is, but that's apparently the tradition. And Robinson squash is also a thing that is linked with Wimbledon. It's a tennis thing, which is a game that people play with a ball, a net and some rackets. Anything more than that, oh, and there's an umpire. Yes, and you hit the ball from one side of the pitch to the next, and you do that for several hours until someone wins. It's apparently something that takes over the conscious of the entire country, a bit like in other countries where you've got things like the Super Bowl or the Superb Owl. When Superb Owl season is on, again, a lot of people tend to lose their minds, and when Wimbledon is on, a lot of people kind of lose their minds watching a little yellow ball get past like that on a bit of grass. Never understood it, to be honest, but you know, any excuse for strawberries to be cheap in the supermarkets when they're on season, because strawberries are lovely. Anyway, everybody, how do I reset this? I've got a magic button on here and I can't reset it. How do I reset my magic button? I've got no idea. We will instead go ahead and welcome people into the live. How do I reset this? I don't think I can. I must be able to. There must be a way. There must be a way. I'm pressing and holding it. There we go, I've reset. Right then, so we are live on the interwebs. You can get yourself a tarot reading very, 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 very easily by going ahead and doing the YouTubey things. If you would like to, you can send it through as a super chat. Right, shall we open a round? Shall we just go for it? I think we probably should. I think today's going to be fairly quiet, mods. I think we're going to have probably quite a chill evening. And yeah, we'll just see how things go. I've got the WhatsApp group up, so we'll just open a round, shall we? Shall we just open a round? I think we probably should. So then, I've lost the chat. There we go. I've got the chat again. Apparently, some of the pubs in London have Pims on tap. Is that just for Wimbledon, or is that all season long? I don't know what Pims is. Do you know what Pims is, Rufus? Oh, I know it's a drink, but do you know why it's special? Do you know what you have with? Is it like a... You've never had it either. Is it like a fruity cocktail or something? I know you can sometimes put cucumber in it. That's all I know. That's all I know. Rufus is just getting something out of the freezer. Good evening to Nature Mage, Merry Meet All, Merry Meet and Merry Part, Nature Mage. Good evening to Dormouse. You love Pims. What is it, Dormouse? What is Pims? I know it's is it a fruity thing? Because I'm still not quite sure. Melinda's here. You're not into sports, but you like watching your grandson play baseball. That's another one of these games where there is a ball and you take it away from the place where it is, and then other people try and stop you making it go far away, and then at the end you will pick up the ball and go back home. It's all right. I'm acting as if I don't know anything about sports. Well, I genuinely, if I say that I used to watch a lot of Formula One before it went to Sky, then you know that's even more nonsensical, because you're just watching cars go round a Scalextrics track, basically. But you know, hey ho! Whatever sport you're into, I hope you're enjoying it. It is the summer of sport, isn't it? It really is. It's a gin. Oh, here we go. It's a gin-based spirit, often called a fruit cup. Is it? Is it? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It must be fruity then in some way. Anywho, shall we have a round? Shall we get cracking with the knacking? I think we should. Let's go for it, everybody. Let's launch our first round of the evening. So then, the next round, or the first round, is in fact open. Please do go ahead, pop your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. That bit is really important. One of those will get selected at random, and we will read for that person. Everybody else, do please go ahead and select and copy your question. Get ready to paste it in on the next round. But you've got about 30 seconds if you would like the first tarot reading of the evening. Do please pop your question in the live chat about now. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Indeed, do ask any of the moderators on the channel. And as I said before, the moderators have their names in blue, and there is a little spanner just next to their names. I'm not actually sure if I press that. Does that come up? No, the spanner doesn't appear on my screen. It certainly is going to be a quiet evening tonight, isn't it? I can see that already. So if we don't get any requests for readings, then we might just call it a very early night, and everybody can go and watch the tennis, the sport ball, the seasonal sport ball. So yeah, people can go and do that if they would prefer. I know that at this time of year, every year when it is Wimbledon season, the internet, the whole world, the whole UK goes very, very quiet. At our Slimming World group today, there were lots of people that kind of came, got weighed, and then went, I've got to go. My strawberries are in the fridge ready for Wimbledon. I was like, okay, bye then. Bye. See you later. Bye. Bye-bye. So, yes. So, yeah, anyway, it may well be that we do very, very little. You used to be good at Wii tennis. There ends your entire knowledge and experience of tennis. Wii tennis was quite good because you could play it. What have I got instead of a Wii? Hang on, there must be something I've got in front of me that's roughly Wii shaped. I'll tell you what, we'll pretend my hyaluronic acid fixing spray for my makeup. So this would be the Wii controller, right? So you've got the little bit that goes around your wrist, and you're supposed to, the whole point of the Wii was that you're supposed to go, oh yeah, knock it, oh yeah, and a backhand, and a lob, and all of that. Did you know you can sit on the couch and just do this? Whilst eating chips. Look at that. I know, right? Oh, we've had a super chat come in. Nature Mage, good evening to you, my darling. A general reading for the near future. What magic is in store? First of all, thank you very much for your super chat. As always, I do have to let everybody know, any super chat that comes in, it automatically 10% of, after YouTube takes its cut off the top, which is about 30%, 10% of whatever comes through to us here goes automatically to the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals. That is a charity here in the UK that help people with vet bills. So people that have animals that need hospital treatment or expensive care, the PDSA help those people with those costs or help with the care. It's also the place where if you've found a dog or a cat in the road that's been hit by a car or injured, or a wild fox or something that's been injured and that's in need of some veterinary care, then the PDSA also help out. We also donate 10% to the Albert Kennedy Trust, which is a charity here in the UK to help LGBTQIA plus youth who are experiencing or in danger of homelessness. So yeah, those two charities are our current charities. And yeah, so that's where, and anything else, anything that's left after all of that, when it comes through, goes to upgrading the equipment. And that's an ongoing job at the moment, I can tell you. It really is. Anyway, today's deck, I'm torn between my favourite one, which is the Fifth Spirit, and the Lightseers deck. For some reason, I'm kind of wanting to pull a little bit towards the Lightseers, but I'm going to go with my absolute favourite deck, which is the Fifth Spirit deck, if that's all right with you, Nature Mage. Oh, thank you, my darling. You love the channel and want to support. Thank you, my darling. So then, let's cut over to the other camera, and we will go ahead and ring the bell. So this cleanses the energy between before and during before and after readings. So it cleanses the space that we work with. And I bring in Wispy. Wispy is an air elemental dragon. I will put the link down into the chat now. And that link goes directly to a podcast episode where me and Neil chatted all about what my dragons are and how they came about and all of that. So then, let's go for it. Wispy, my friend, good evening. Nature Mage would like a general reading for the near future. What magic is in store specifically? What magic is in store? Now, I will say, Nature Mage, this deck, thank you, Holland. You said it was a pretty altar deck. Thank you. I do like changing them up, hopefully on a monthly basis. This one, it just felt appropriate because it's nice and light and bright outside, and I thought, you know what, let's bring it in with my two lovely ravens, the crows, the corvids. We thought it just seemed, do you know what, you know me and my ravens, my crows, my corvids. So yeah, I am noticing as well, some of these cards are absolutely starting to look a little bit bedraggled, because this is the deck that I use more than anything else on the channel. It's used easily. I probably do readings from this deck about 3 or 4 times days a week, to be honest, between here, what's it called, Fiverr, and doing readings for friends and for myself. So yeah, I do use this deck a lot. So then, it is more of a mundane deck, but it does tell it as it is, okay? But we're going to look for the magical with it today, Wispy. We're going to do you a inverted triangle. Oh no, I'll tell you what, Nature Mage, I'll tell you what, hang on. We'll do you the 7 card safe passage spread, okay? This is taken direct and wholesale from Agatha All Along, which is the Marvel TV series. There was a deck used in that, which actually I've tested quite a few times with myself, with the mods. I even did a reading for Patricia, who is a tarot reader herself, and I did that using this deck. It's a really nice deck, nice spread actually. And this spread, I don't know whether it existed prior to the Marvel show or whether it was done for that, but I do really, really, really like it. I absolutely love it. So then we're going to use that. So here we go, move the camera back across and let's have a look. So I've done the cut already. So we start with the card that represents yourself. So this is, you are in this instance, the Traveller. So we've got the Four of Swords. Okay, so there is some stability going on in your life right now, but that stability is in the form of a, how can I put it? Swords for me is lessons, challenges, obstacles, hurdles. It's the suit that like us to learn by experience, and that's not always an easy thing, but this is very much about us learning and growing. But fours are about stability, so it almost feels as if, although things in life might not be feeling as if they're going particularly well, you are in the process of learning some key life lessons. And that always feels awkward to say, because it doesn't feel as if right now there is a it doesn't feel as if that moment of revelation is quite with us yet. Do you know what I mean by that? It means, you know, you're still going through something that probably has been going on for a little while. We'll go with the quest itself. So what is your journey all about? We've got Judgment reversed. Now then, hang on. If I pull the camera back a little bit, there we go, and move the other microphone out of the way. That gives us a little bit more space to work with. There we go. So then, Judgment reversed is your quest. Now, for me, Judgment is twofold. It's how we look at our life. When it's reversed, it's how we judge ourselves really harshly. Okay, so it really feels here, Nature Mage, as if there is something you are needing to learn about being kinder to yourself, being less judgmental, not just in terms of other people and how other people, you know, how you respond to other people, but mainly how you are less judgmental on yourself. That feels to be a key lesson here. So whether you're going through and have been going through some, as I say, life lessons with this card, your quest at the moment is to find a way to be kinder, to be less, well, less judgmental, I guess. Right then, so the path behind, let's look at what the path behind was. The Seven of Swords. Again, that's interesting, because again, it's bringing up this idea that the that the Seven of Swords itself is that the swords itself, bear with me, I'm just trying to move the on-screen chat down a little bit for you. There you go. It's bringing up this idea that is confirming that the Four of Swords in the present is correct, because it says in the past there's been a lot of indecision and a lot of quite difficulties in terms of making the right positive choices in life. Sevens are difficult to deal with because they're always going to bring multiple choices, multiple ways that you can move forward. And with the swords, it's difficult to know which way to go for the best. It's almost like you're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea, between a rock and a hard place. And no matter which way you go, you're not looking for the best way. You're looking for the way that's going to, or the decisions that would have caused least harm. Does that make sense? So it's like the difficult decisions you faced in your life, I think they are the ones that this is going through. So if there is something particularly that you've been struggling with for a period of time, it does feel as if that journey is still ongoing for you, to be honest with this. Now we'll look at the path ahead. Here we go. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. Now the Wheel of Fortune, for me, it's all about risk and reward. And this is your second major arcana card. So these are important cards. When we look at the Wheel of Fortune under that risk reward element, it says, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity coming your way, but you need to be aware that not everything that is offered to you is for you. Not everything that is available to you is going to enhance this journey you're on. Not everything that you are how can I put it? Not every opportunity is in fact a positive opportunity. Some of the paths that some of the paths that show themselves will lead you backwards and back down to these difficult decisions from the past. These more how can I put it? It will lead you back into ways of being that perhaps you want to leave behind, put it that way, right? The next card is looking at the obstacles. So the obstacles, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so for me, Pentacles is all about growth. Again, a reversed card. When I look at the numbers, for me, 9 is full. The 10s are overflowing. So if it was the other way up, it would be saying that there's so much growth going on, so much energy, so much vitality. It's like you just almost can't keep yourself down. However, when it's reversed, and especially with this being the obstacle, it's almost like there is a danger ahead of you slipping backwards. Again, I think that's what this Wheel of Fortune card is talking about. There's a danger here. Whatever's going on in your life, my darling, there is a big, like, it feels this is quite pivotal, because you could slip back into old patterns, old ways of being, and old negativities if you aren't really careful at the moment, right? This path ahead is saying, look, there are going to be opportunities. It's almost like I have been dealing with food issues my entire life, okay? And what that means for me is that I allowed myself to get morbidly obese. I allowed myself to get super heavy, and I did that for all manner of reasons, psychological, emotional, all of that. I have been on a weight loss journey for the last 9 months, and during that time, I'm succeeding in that journey. But I am always faced with those choices. And I know that if I was to make the wrong choices, I could slip back into those old ways of eating and those old ways of thinking very, very easily. And so for me, it's a bit like being an addict. I have to, one day at a time, I have to keep moving forward, keep motivated, and keep pushing myself. And as long as I can do that, these patterns aren't going to pull me back. And the reason I'm sharing that with you, Nature Mage, is because this feels, I don't want to say it's similar, because obviously I don't know what you've gone through in your life, but this Wheel of Fortune card coming up in the path ahead is a bit of a warning. For me, what Wispy's giving me is, it's like you going to a chip shop. It'll be like you going to it'll be KFC rather than a chip shop. It will be like you going, oh, we'll just order a little takeaway. No, I can't do that, because one isn't enough. No, one is too many, and all of them aren't enough. Do you know what I mean? And so for me, I have to be ever mindful of that. And what this card is saying is, look, there is growth here, right? Ten of Pentacles, Pentacles being growth. It could also be a financial element, a work element, the amount of effort you have to put into this. But it does feel as if this obstacle is warning that however far you've come from the path behind, it's only a matter of circumstance, in a way that, given that taking the wrong road with this Wheel of Fortune could wind you facing those this path again. Does that make sense? Could find you falling back into those patterns. Right then, so the next card is the Windfall card. So this is positive. Okay, we've got a third major card. The Windfall here is the Sun. Now, although this card is reversed, it's one of a few cards in the deck that, for me, when the reversal comes in, doesn't actually change things all that much. The Sun's energy is so strong, so positive, so all-embracing, that it doesn't feel, even when it's a negative, it doesn't come across in a way that is going to derail any positivity here. And this is your windfall. This is almost like your blessing. Now, the one thing I would say with this Sun being reversed is that there is always a warning with the Sun's energy in the summer months, because the same energy that can invigorate us and help us to grow and help us to, enjoy life and look things as being bright and everything else around us, if it's too much, that same energy can sometimes cause wildfires and be too much to handle. Now, interpreting it in this way, it feels like there's a lot of really positive energy around you at the moment, right? And there's a lot of goodwill and a lot of, I will use the word magic, a lot of energy, a lot of really good, positive, vibrant energy that is around you, that is in your life, that has come in fairly recently. But be careful, because it's because of this reversal, it's almost saying, look, the sun's energy is here right now. Be careful you don't get burnt, for one thing. Be careful you don't bathe in it too long, is the second thing. But also, don't get used to that admiration. Don't get too comfortable with it, because eventually autumn comes and winter comes and we have to deal with other energies. Does that make sense? It's like there's a lot of opportunities here right now. Some of them you need to be really mindful of, because some of them will take you back down to the ways that you've avoided and the decisions and the path that you've left behind. Okay, why is that now unfocused? Bear with me. Let me focus. Are we going to focus on anything? Sorry, I was too busy doing the there we go. I was too busy doing the reading, and I was in my alpha space without being able to go, oh yeah, look at the screen. So yeah, that for me is it's a positive. In the windfall position, the sun's energy is really positive. It could also, just to throw this out there, it could also represent new life. Okay, so children. So if you are somebody who is active in that way, if you don't want to have kids at the moment, maybe, cover up where you need to, if that makes sense, if you read what I'm saying between those lines. Yeah, because that can sometimes bring in or be a signal of new children, new life coming into play. And then let's have the final card here is your destination. And this hang on, so it was that way up. So your destination with all of this. Now this is interesting. Okay, we've got the Six of Cups. So, and the Six of Cups is also reversed. But this is interesting, because the Six of Cups for me is about community, friendship, a wider circle. Sometimes it could be family, right? Sometimes it could be family. Normally for me, the Six of Cups is about friendship circles, groups of people that you are emotionally connected to. Okay, and that for me is separate normally to the people that we have a blood bond with, a blood connection with, or a DNA connection with. So that it feels like you're headed towards, again, this thing of what you're learning. It feels like some true colours are going to get revealed about the people in your circle, right? I would be very surprised if this Wheel of Fortune card and this this obstacle card weren't referencing this Six of Cups, because it's reversed. It feels like there is a warning on the cards, right? There is something that you will be... There is right. You are going to be made aware of some friends that haven't been in your best interest, maybe friends that are trying to pull you back, maybe friends that are trying to stop your growth forward. And whilst you're trying to move on in a non-judgmental way, you're trying to move beyond and better yourself and not do these same mistakes, not repeat these patterns that that stability element is hinting at. Whilst you're trying to continually move forward and you're bringing in that sun energy is coming in and you've got this sort of like new light, this new vitality that's coming into your life, my darling, it feels like your friends and your circle are the ones that you need to be acutely aware of. They're the ones who are going to try and pull you back to your old ways of being, your old ways of doing things. Okay, because it's like opportunities will come up and you'll get an invite. For example, again, I'll use myself as the example because that way I can talk about a thing without it sounding judgmental about anybody else's life. So it will almost be like my friend saying, Lisa, why don't you come to we're going to have a dinner party. Come and have a lovely dinner party. And then I get there and nothing there is a food optimized option. There's nothing there that I can eat without it being laced in fat or sugar and things that I know are going to do me damage. You know, it would be like everything here is sweet food. Well, I'm diabetic. I can't eat any of that. Oh, well, just have a little bit. Just have a little portion. You've done really well on your diet. Have a little portion. A little bit won't hurt. Actually, it will, because I'm trying not to go blind right now. Thank you very much. So, do you know what? A little bit is going to hurt. And it's like that wheel for me would say, go and spend some lovely time with some friends. And while you're doing that, be acutely aware and acutely mindful that actually your friends may not have, maybe without even realizing, but they might not have your best interest at heart in that way. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying that they would do it on purpose. Let me just correct this this focusing issue. I'm not saying that they would do it on purpose, but there would absolutely be a moment where perhaps because they don't realize what is happening, there would be that moment where, oh well, I thought just a cake would be okay. I didn't realize you couldn't have any cake. Do you know what I'm saying? I think you need to be very mindful of that and protect whatever it is that you have been doing to better your life. Protect your journey. Protect this energy that's coming in. Protect it. Don't get driven backwards. Don't allow it to pull you back off. Don't allow it to pull you one way or the other back to this old pattern, to this old sort of stuck self and this old negative pattern, because it will if you let it. I hope that helps, Nature Mage. It does feel, if you can put it this way, right? If you are able to withstand this temptation by this Six of Cups card, by the friend circle, the people you hang with, the family, whatever it is, whatever that circle means for you, if you are able to either have really adult conversations and say, look, I still want to be friends with everybody, but again, using my example, I can't be around you if you're going for burgers every day. I can't be around you if you're going to sit there and eat a load of cakes, because I can't have that in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's like you need to have the people in your life along your journey. And sometimes if there was, I used to volunteer at an organization where we could pick up tons of food, right? And as a volunteer, we could take tons of food home with us if we wanted to. And a large amount of it would be cakes and biscuits and very highly sugary, highly processed food. I could no longer volunteer for that organization because I had to protect my own sobriety, if you like, from that lifestyle. And it may well be that whatever you're focusing on in your life, whatever you are dealing with as well, however you are growing and becoming a different version of yourself, you may have to make those same tough decisions. And I do think when I'm talking about this entire reading, this is coming up in July. This is going to come to you fairly soon. Within the next 4 weeks, this is absolutely going to be coming through. So I hope that helps, my darling. I always say forewarned is forearmed. Be very mindful of the 3 major arcana cards that you've got. The Judgment card, I think, is perfect for where you're headed, for you being an enlightened, non-judgmental, version of yourself. And the sun energy is lovely. That vitality coming in, just be a little bit careful that, you know, you don't get too burnt with that. But that Wheel of Fortune, do be careful, because a lot of times we don't see the... We often don't see the negatives in an opportunity until it's too late. I hope that helps, my love. I really do. Thank you ever so much for your question. And again, thank you very much for your super chat as well. And yeah, let us know in the comments if you can take that reading. So yeah, thank you very much. Right then, talking about the comments, let's have a wee look. Patricia, Nature Mage, all the best. You can and will handle what energy comes your way. Absolutely, you absolutely will. Arrogance and overconfidence will work against you. Trust issues need addressing. Absolutely. That's Six of Cups. Be careful. Be careful. Small steps, maybe keep your head down for a while. Yep. This is it. You might need to avoid that friendship group for a while. You might need to, you know, make conscious decisions to spend your time differently and around different people. So hopefully that helps. Right then, let's have a wee look. Oh, we've got 9 thumbsy uppies. That's awesome. Thank you. If you're watching this and you haven't done yet, give it one of them. Give it the welly. Maybe even use the thumb to hit the thumbs up. But don't do it twice, because that will take it off again. So yeah, don't do that. That's bad. Also, if you haven't already, please do the thing, the YouTubey thing, this one up here, where it says ding your notification bell, ding your bell, and then change those settings to all. Listen, YouTube is a YouTube thing, right? It's doing its thing. The algorithm is algorithming at the moment. There are, looking at the numbers, there are a lot of people who have come in because they've got notifications, but there's also a lot of people that are telling me that the notifications have been turned off and they haven't seen my videos popping up for weeks. They thought I was away on holiday, and it's like, no, I've been here most weeks, week in, week out, twice a week. I have been here streaming. So if they haven't seen it, it's because the algorithm's been showing them other things or doing other things, right? It's not perfect, but you know what, none of us pay for it unless you've got the advanced premium thing, and even then it's not exactly a lot of money. But yeah, make sure that if you want to know when I'm live and when I'm doing the things, make sure your notification is set. Nature Mage, that was wonderful, thank you. It does make sense. You're a 50-year-old gay man on a new spiritual journey of witchcraft. Congratulations and mazel tov. You are very concerned about friends and family because they won't get it or approve. All I can say for that, my darling, well, I can say a lot of things actually, but what I will say is there are 2 podcast episodes, I don't know whether you watched them yet, both on this channel with myself and my spiritual brother, my brother in the craft, I guess, my bestie, or maybe I could call him my Westie, my best witchy friend. There's a YouTube channel I'm watching at the moment and I'm addicted to, and they've got this story of teachers, and there's these 2 teachers, and one of them is called Bunker, and she calls her teacher friend her testy, her teacher bestie. So I'm trying to do that, right? So anyway, Neil, I've known him for like 20 odd years. We've known each other, and we've had 3 o'clock in the morning conversations about this, that and the other. Neil is a bisexual man. I am a trans woman. There's a whole nearly 3 hours of podcast episodes where we talk about coming out and experiencing our life within the magical circle and within the queer world, and how those 2 things interact, and also lots of things about deity and things as well. Congratulations on coming into the fold, into the craft. It is a lifelong experience for many of us, and B, some of your friends will get it, some of your friends won't, and C, listen, it shouldn't be much different than if one of your friends was to say, oh, I'm Christian with a small c, or I go across to this particular group. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy hanging out with these particular type of people. Or do you know what? I'm doing some mindfulness and some meditation over here. Shouldn't be any different. It really shouldn't. It's just, for me, witchcraft and the whole of this sort of field is a step up from yoga, you know, meditation, mindfulness, and sort of that sort of thing. It's kind of like a couple of steps beyond that. If you've got friends who can understand doing a bit of yoga, doing a bit of, you know, Tai Chi, that sort of thing, they may well get it. You know what I mean? They may well get it. But also, you will find yourself other people in your life that are part of that witchy community, that welcome you and welcome you wholly as a person, regardless of or because of your sexuality. There definitely are queer working groups out there, and yeah, like, welcome to the craft, and I am fingers crossed that that everybody in your circle goes along with it. I would just say be careful, because that Six of Cups, I do honestly think there will be a few people that might think you've if I say drunk the Kool-Aid, does that sound too negative? I hope it doesn't sound too negative to anyone. Anyway, the best of luck. We are here every Wednesday. No, we're not. It's not Wednesday and Sunday. It's Tuesday and Sunday. I forgot what day it was today. We're here every Tuesday and Sunday on this channel at 7 o'clock UK time each and every week. You are more than welcome to come and join us here. We've got these flags up here for a reason. They are always going to be here. They're not just here for Pride. They are here year round, because this is always a welcome place. And it says down there, a safe space for all. Anybody in any community is welcome here. We have one number one rule, which is don't be a dick. In fact, I should really put this on the microphone, because it is the number one rule on the channel. So I should probably stick this pin up here as well. It does say, I don't know if you can read that, it says don't be a dick. That is our number one rule. Apart from that, everybody's welcome. Anyway, here endeth the Witchcraft is Wonderful sermon for today. Shall we have another round, everybody? What do you think? What do you think? I think it's time. I think it is absolutely time to have another round. And we do that by pressing this button here. And that means it is time. Please do go ahead, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get selected at random. If you want to guarantee that your reading is up next, you can do so just like Nature Mage did, by sending it through in the form of a super chat. You didn't realise people outside the US use the drink the Kool-Aid phrase. We do use the phrase. None of us have ever tried Kool-Aid because it's not available in the UK. All I know it is, again, look, I've got a, are you ready? I've got a pin for that. When we look at those jugs, I don't know whether you can see that one just here. For us, I know in the States that's the Kool-Aid man. For me, that's a picture of coffee. That's like the coffee maker. So yeah, we know what it is. We just haven't experienced it ourselves. But trust me, that particular set of circumstances is very well known, even over here in our provincial United of Kingdom. Oh, Lisa, play the video. Your brain's melting. You need another coffee. Right then, I've got 30 seconds to drink a coffee while you pop your questions in. We went to, I believe we had Stonehenge. Let's go to my favourite one of these. Let's have a little waterfall moment. If you're doing some mindfulness, this is a good little 30 seconds just to hum. Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods. Absolutely, and I always say the mods are in blue. So if you see each person's name in the live chat, the mods, their name is in blue and they've got a little spanner or a wrench next to their names. Right then, it does look as if I was right. Wimbledon is definitely having its impact. Melinda did say earlier that you wanted a reading, Melinda. Oh, hang on a second. I've also got my chat set to the wrong setting. Thank you, YouTube. That would really help. Thank you. Even if the Kool-Aid doesn't have stuff added, it's already... Is it? You're guilty of drinking it. I didn't know that. I didn't know... It's for us, we have a... Okay, Melinda, we have a thing called squash over here. And it's like... It's a bit like Kool-Aid, right? In the fact that it is a thing that you add to water to give water flavour. And it's generally made with concentrated fruit juice, but it's a liquid, and it's similar. Most of the ones over here, well, I'd say about 40% of the ones over here, you actually have quite a lot of sugar in, but you can also get a lot of them that are either sugar-free or no added sugar. So they're still chemically, but a little bit worse for wear. Oh, hang on. Did we have a super chat come in? Oh, we did have not a super chat. Sorry, a question come in. Melinda, hold off. I will... JS asked this question when we said to, so I will give JS first pickings. My darling, good evening, JS. I didn't even know you were here. Oh, I like that profile picture. That looks like a... That looks like maybe a Sikh or a Hindi god. I'm not quite sure. I do like that picture though, my darling. You want to know what your life purpose is? Okay. Just a little question to answer with 3 tarot cards. Then just a nice little, a nice little simple one. Okay, we will attempt that for you, my darling. What I will say in absolute honesty, and I've just realised, hang on, I need to do this one because you can't see, can you? Here we go. That's me in the corner. Just a little one, just a little question. Your entire life's purpose. Right, my darling, I tell you what we will do. I will have a look at what the cards have to say, right? And what I will say to you, my darling, is... I'll pull you some cards that can look at the direction you're going. By the way, please don't look at the state of my nails. I was planning on getting them done before going to Slimming World today to weigh in, but unfortunately we didn't quite have the time. So yeah, I'm going to try and get them done tomorrow after Rufus has his appointment and before the live stream tomorrow on the other channel. I hope so, because they're bugging me. Anyway, right, it is a huge question, Melinda. Yes, it is a huge question. It's a question that at the age of, what did I say I was the other day? 39. Yeah, 39 years old that I am. Definitely not older than that. Yeah, definitely no older, you understand. But at the age of 39, I am still grasping with, to be honest with you. So I do think it's one of those questions that we answer probably when the last moment comes. I think that's probably the only time we can genuinely answer exactly what it was that our life's purpose was, why we were here. I think we can only summarize that at the end. But let's go ahead and have a wee look. So we'll cleanse the working space and we'll bring in Wispy. Good evening, Wispy. So JS wants a really simple, easy to answer question. Very simple, very easy, very, very quick and like no problem at all, Wispy. What is their life purpose? That's all. What is JS's life purpose? What is the meaning of life, the universe and everything for JS? It doesn't have to be 42. It could be anything at all, Wispy. What is JS's life purpose? We'll have a look. It is a monumentally huge question, but we'll see if we can at least give you a little pointer along to at least point you in the direction of the path to go on to find the destination that might lead you to the school of answers. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Right. What should we do? Where should we do this? We'll do it with... I'll tell you what, we'll do it with the standard 3 card because it kind of fits. Where you are now, what you need to know about your life's purpose and what your future opportunity is in relation to that card. Let's go. Where you are now, the 6 of Wands reversed. That's interesting in and of itself. 6 is a community. Wands is your sense of confidence, self-esteem and self-belonging. It's reversed. You do not feel like you fit in at the moment. You feel like an outsider. You feel like you are a little bit out of the loop and lacking some confidence. However, what you need to know about your life's purpose... Oh, wow, we're going to get super metaphysical. I'll tell you what, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. 4 of Cups. Right. Okay. Let me have a look. Melinda, I'll come to that in just a second, my darling. So, right. 6 of Wands. 6 is a community, as I say. Wands is self-esteem, confidence. This is really screaming at you don't know where you fit in within your within your wider community. You don't know where you fit. You're insecure about it. You don't know how to feel more confident, be more confident. You don't essentially know who you are. In terms of what your life's purpose is, the 7 of Swords is literally screaming your purpose is to ask the tough questions and seek out those tough answers and to learn. Why am I saying that like that? Because quite frankly, the 7 of Swords is all about trouble and strife, but lessons, hurdles, challenges. It's all about going forward and learning lessons, right? That is what the suit of Swords is. It can be linked in with ideas. For me, it's not. It's all about learning life's lessons, learning how we move forward, learning, right? 7 is all about tough choices. We put those together with this particular card, with this particular question, we get this. What your life's purpose is to continue to ask the difficult questions and continue to find or seek those answers. You may never get those answers, right? You may genuinely never get the answer to this question, because if you knew your purpose and you weren't able to fulfill it, how bad would that feel? If you knew your purpose and you fulfilled it in the next 6 months, what next? What then? Is that the end? Once you've fulfilled your life's purpose, then what? What comes after that? How do you continue on this plane of existence after that? If it's something that can be answered that easily, it isn't worth asking that question. And this is one of the deep questions. And I like that we've got 3 minor cards that are normally, these are the ones that give us the nuance in the deck. The major arcana are the big shouty cards. These are the nuance cards. This question is all about the nuance, right? In your future, we've got the Four of Cups. This is talking about, cups is your emotional side. Fours are about stability. This is talking for me very clearly about you need to find that stability, that emotional stability that will help you and guide you to ask this question and variations on this question throughout your life as you move forward. Because this, the Seven of Swords in this question, is an incredibly important card. Because what this is saying is what you need to know is life is all about tough choices, tough questions, and moving forward to try and find those answers. That's it. That is the purpose. So whether that is in a spiritual realm, that you are forever going to be seeking spiritual answers and getting closer to deity or the universe, or, you know, whatever it is, depending on your particular path, your particular flavor of spirituality, you move forward through that. It could be that you are an incredibly scientifically minded person and you are looking for, you know, this could be continue to ask questions in the cure for cancer, or in the cure for all illness, or the cure for aging, or the cure for whatever. This is literally saying to you that your life's purpose is to continue to seek out new answers to new questions. Every time a question gets answered, open your mind further and allow those new questions in that answer brings up, and then seek out the answers for that. It feels like, if I had to give this a title, then it feels like this is the description of a seeker. This is the description of somebody who is going to spend at least one lifetime, if not many, asking those questions and moving forward. And each time you get an answer, it unlocks more questions. And each time you continue to move forward and move forward, what that does is give you whole new realms to discover. And it's a bit like, the more we know about the human brain and how that's wired, the more questions we have. The more we learn about the universe, the more questions that opens up. And for me, if that isn't the essence of the life's purpose for any of us on a spiritual path, and I don't know what is. To continually ask the difficult questions, to continually ask the tough lines, and to move forward. That is your purpose, my darling. I hope that helps. It's probably not what you were hoping for, but as I always say, I can only give you the answers the cards give me, and I will tell you what you need to know, not what you want to hear. I hope that helps. Amrita Madhav, my darling, you've asked the same question 3 times in the chat. The mods have already asked you not to and have deleted your question. If you continue to post your question, then you will be blocked on the channel, I'm afraid. Okay? And you'll be stopped from asking anything else on the channel. We do free readings here. If you want to guarantee your reading, the way you ask it to guarantee that you get a reading is by sending a super chat. If you want to wait and get a free reading, you have to wait until we open up a free round. All of these details are right here on the bottom of the screen, so you can't say you don't know. They're also in the description box for the channel, for the stream, and on the details for the channel. So that is how you get a reading. You have to wait until we open up a round, unless you send it through as a super chat. JS, I really hope that helps. It feels, listen, I could have just given you a pointer to the person who is going to be the next spiritual guidance for the planet. You could go forward and continue to ask these questions, and you could move forward in a way that in a few years' time, we are all aware of your journey as you start to unravel the secrets of the universe and enhance and unlock the spiritual questions we all ask. Someone's got to do it. Eventually someone will. Why not you? I hope that helps. I really do hope it helps, my friend. Thank you ever so much. In every dark tunnel there will come a light. Absolutely, Patricia. And with every question there will be an answer. But be prepared, because most of those answers will unlock new questions. It's just how things are. Right then, talking about rounds for new questions and unlocking things, shall we unlock another round on the channel? I think we should. That means the next round is officially open. Please do go ahead, do one of the YouTube things. That is to pop your question in the live chat, starting with the word question. One of those will get selected at random by the keeper of the questions. If you are not that person selected, please go ahead and select and copy your question and get ready for the next open round. If you want to guarantee that your reading is up next, you can do so by sending it through in the form of a super chat. That is the only way to get your question, to guarantee that your question is read. I hope both of that makes sense. And in case it didn't, here is a lovely little video. Where are we going with today? I tell you what, we've gone to Stonehenge, we've gone to the waterfall. Shall we go to the sky itself? Go on then.
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods.
Good evening, Nanette. Hello, my darling. I've just seen your name pop up in the doodah. Right then, Miss K, your question has been selected, but I do want to just answer something briefly that Melinda asked in the chat. Let me go back and find it because I saw this come up. Hold on one second. Where was it? Here we go. Question for any witches. Recommendations for a good book about shadow work. A guide, and if it has journal questions, a bonus. It doesn't exist. And what I mean by that is a good book on shadow work, I don't believe exists, because for shadow work to truly work, for it truly to be something that is what it says on the tin, to go into the shadows, to work through those shadows and to genuinely come out the other side with a better knowledge of yourself, a better understanding of why you do the things that you do and why you are the way you are and all of that, to go through that can never be learnt from a book. And any book that says this shadow work book has all the answers, be very careful of. Because in my experience, and I've done a fair bit of shadow work over the years, obviously with transitioning and doing everything else that I've gone through in my life, there's a lot that needed unraveling and untapping. And my advice would be, if you aren't able to get counselling support, then shadow work isn't the right time for you to do shadow work. Because if you're doing it honestly and openly, it unlocks so many potential traumas, areas of concern, areas of experience that you may not be consciously aware of. It can also be something that is incredibly painful, incredibly difficult. You can reveal lots of things about the reasons that you are the way you are, that you accept certain things in life, or you strive for other things. Done properly, shadow work is an ongoing process that basically that leads you to self-discovery like you've never ever seen before, because it literally is you shining a huge great big torch into all of your dark places and seeing what you've put there. That doesn't sound too bad, does it? But you've put those things into those dark places for a reason. Those little monsters, those little, whatever you want to think of them, those little creatures, those little energies, those little bits that you have pushed into that dark corner and locked, put in a cage over there, locked in that cupboard over there. You have forced into those dark shadow places in your psyche. Each of those elements, each of those incidents, each of those things is there for a reason. The danger of shadow work, unless you have that counselling support, the danger of it is when you go and you open up that door or you unlock that cage, you don't know where your psyche is going to put what's revealed. And the problem that a lot of people with shadow work can experience is that they aren't ready to deal with what's behind door number 3 or door number 1 or cage number 753, whatever it may be, because there is a reason we've put those things away and we've locked them away. There is a reason. For every single person out there who is like I am morbidly obese, there is a reason, probably a series of reasons, all linking back to, again, in my experience, why have I allowed myself to do that to my body? Why have I gone in this direction when something happened? Why have I turned to this way of coping when something happened? Why is this my path that I've been on? Unlocking all of that is a lot more difficult than just going, why do I overeat? Because the reasons behind the things we do can sometimes lead us down a very, very dark, winding path through a very dark forest that is surrounded by very, very deep and dark shadows. And that is a lot to unpick. So in my experience, there are lots of books about shadow work. There are lots of Witch Casket did a shadow work journal prompt with a series of cards to prompt you. If you have access to counselling, that is my number one precursor to everything. Have that arranged, because you're going to need it if you do it properly. And then get any shadow work book, any of them. They're all basically the same. There's videos on YouTube about shadow work, and you ask yourself difficult questions. In my case, what is it that I connect food with? What do I consider when I'm mindlessly eating? Why do I turn to that? What is the reason? What are my earliest memories about food? When are the times that I've turned to food rather than dealing with an issue? What are those issues? And the more that you delve, the more layers you unpeel, the more secrets you unveil, the harder it gets. And along that journey, I've discovered an awful lot of things, and I'm not about to share them here because it would be considered trauma dumping. But I've discovered a lot of things, and a lot of them I needed counselling for. Now, after I've gone through a lot of shadow work, I consider myself a much more well-rounded person. I consider myself a more a less judgmental person, a more caring person, all of that. I genuinely think that shadow work has been an incredibly valuable experience for me, and has really, really helped me unlock a lot. And it's not just about the eating, it's about, you know, my entire life being a trans person, especially in this climate. And I don't mean the heat wave, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that I hid away, and I'm still working through it all. And I will probably, as I said earlier to Nature Mage, no it wasn't, as I said earlier to, I think it was the last person, JS asking about their life's mission, I will always be unraveling, unpicking and asking difficult questions of why I do the things I do for as long as I live, because every time I get an answer it opens up more questions. And anybody considering shadow work out there, be prepared for that. It's very, very tough and difficult. I would not recommend it to everybody, and I certainly would only recommend it if in advance you have counsellors virtually on standby. I hope that helps, my darling. I really hope that helps. The journal, you don't need journal hints. You just need, is it the 5 questions? Who, what, where, when, and why? Ask those questions of every aspect of your life and write everything down. I hope that helps, my darling. I agree with this. I agree with this. It's incredibly difficult. Again, to do shadow work properly, it is not something you can ever complete. It's very, very much a journey. And there you go, an eternal journey. I hope that helps. I really do, my darling. I really hope that helps. Right, we go back to the chat. It was Miss K, wasn't it? There we go. Where is Miss K's question? Oh, thank you, my darling. Absolutely. It is difficult. It is difficult. It can be. Absolutely, it can be. And protection from what? Protection from whom? Why? How? When did that start? Who did that start? It's a lot. It's a lot. It really is. Sorry to hear that, my darling. Oh, thank you, my darling. I saw the question, but I did wonder whether it was about the dog tarot. But thank you very much. It hasn't turned up as yet, but thank you. Where's Miss K's question? There it is. I found it. I found you, Miss K. Sorry about that. Right. What is the intention of your Taurus male friend? Interesting. We'll have a look at that for you, my darling. I am going to do that right now. Right then, let's cleanse. Let's bring in, for some reason, my other monitor. It's got a funny colour. I don't know why. It's just the technology gremlins that we have in this room. There's so much energy that flies around in this room. It really is quite amazing that any of the technology works, to be honest with you. It really is. Right then, Miss K, let's have a look. Wispy, Miss K wants to know, what is the intention, or what are the intentions of their male Taurian friend? The only thing I know about star signs, I know about Taurians. Is that how you say it? Taurus, right? I know about Taurus people because my other half is a Taurus bloke. He is a bloke what is Taurus. So yeah, Taurian. I don't think that doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But apart from that, I know so little about star signs. I really do. Oh, yes, completely, Patricia. Make sure the counsellor that you go to is one that you vibe with. Absolutely. Hang on. I just dropped some cards because my hands are crap, to be honest. Anyway, right. Also, it's very warm. It's very muggy tonight here in the UK. I've just taken my shoes off, so apologies, everybody, but I haven't quite let the dogs out. As in, got me feet out. That's not something I would ever do, to be honest. Can't stand feet. Right, anyway, you don't need to know about that. Let's have a look. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to do you a where you are, what you need to know, and where you're headed in the future with Taurian male. Let's have a look. So Wispy, what has the Taurian male got in his mind? What are his intentions? So, where you are right now, where you two are at the moment, right? That's what this question is. Where are the two of you? What's the vibe right now? Ooh, interesting. There's a lot of questions. I think you like him. Pentacles is about growth. Sevens are about difficult decisions. In this case, I think there's been a little bit of growth energy there, but you're really uncertain. If I was to say whether to... Hang on, let's hold it that way up. You're uncertain whether to pick the fruit or leave it on the vine, right? If this was pumpkins or squashes, we're growing some squashes. I don't know why it says peas, because they're blatantly not. But if you were growing some squashes in the garden, right, and they were absolutely looking lovely and nice and they're ripe, do you pick them now or do you wait a little bit until they've got bigger? But if you wait, what if there's a drought, or what if there's a frost, or what if there's, you know, a bug or a disease? Should you pick it now? The thing with this card, though, is that it is reversed. And I think this is really asking the question. I think you're kind of looking for a, should I make a play for him or not? I think that's the kind of vibe, because I do think you're maybe interested in him in a way. Let's see. What you need to know about his feelings, right? Hang on, let me get this right. You're asking what his intention is. So yeah, what you need to know about his intentions. Ooh, Two of Wands. He doesn't just want to be friends. Doesn't mean he necessarily wants a relationship, but he doesn't see you both as friends. Now, that can be taken in two ways, can't it, to be honest with you? That could be taken, Miss K, as if he doesn't think you're as close as you do, or he thinks there is something else. Do you know what I mean? But whatever this is, the Two of Wands... Wands is confidence, security, and self-esteem. So he isn't too certain that the two of you are a good fit, right? In terms of moving forward, he doesn't quite know. Because the thing about the Two of Wands and the way it's drawn in this particular deck, one is a match, the other is a candle. For one to burn, the other has to burn out. So for the relationship to move forward, the friendship has to end. And I don't think he knows if he wants that. I don't think he knows that. I do think there's an interest there that may not be just purely friendship, but it's almost like, do you risk the friendship to say anything? And then, yeah, Wheel of Fortune in the future. He's absolutely not sure how to go forward. The Wheel of Fortune is there's lots of different opportunities, lots of ways of being, lots of paths you can go on, right? This is a ship's wheel. If you think about a compass, if you think of, you know, the Wheel of Fortune game show where you spin that wheel and it can land on any one of those wedges and you win, but some of them will have lose written on them and you'll lose everything, right? So you spin that wheel. Yes, you could win, but you could also lose majorly. Think about a roulette wheel and you bet on red and it comes up black. You've lost everything. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know whether moving forward in a relationship, because I think it's more about that than it is about not being friends, right? He doesn't know whether it's worth risking the friendship in order to move it forward. I think he's worried about that, right? He is worried about that. Wispy, one more card, a fourth card for this reading. Wispy, I want to know with one card, I'm going to pick it from the middle somewhere. Does the Taurian male friend have romantic feelings for Ms. K? Does he have those romantic feelings? At least he might not be sure about how to act on them, but are those feelings there? That's what we want to know. Right, are those feelings in play? Where are we going? I'm going to go right here. Okay, and the Page of Wands. Okay, I don't know how old he is, but he is, it's almost like he's questioning everything at the moment. You can see this person, pages are youthful energy, naive energy, right? So there's a naivety coming into play with this. Wands, again, is all about this confidence, self-esteem. I think the two of you, I don't know whether you're best mates or whether you're just good friends, but I think that this friend connection is quite an important one, because you can see it's almost like we've got the light bulb going off here with this card. I do think it's important to him. So I think he genuinely is confused by this friendship, as in, does he have feelings for you or not? Is it just that he's very friendly with you and you are friendly with him? Or is there something else? I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows. So when you're talking about intention, I genuinely don't think he knows. I think he is still trying to work out exactly what he feels, because that line between we've been friends for 6 years, 6 months, 6 days, whatever it is, we've been friends for a while, but now I have some strong feelings. Are those strong feelings, I care for this person, I want the best for them, I am, I think of them as my best mate, my best friend, or have they developed into, I care for this person, I like and trust this person, and I want to be with this person? And I think that is what he's still working out. So I hope that helps, my darling. I don't think he knows what his intentions are. So this may well be that you might have to decide what your intentions are and then drop him a big whole bag of hints. Do you know what I mean? I'm not being funny. Sometimes when we're dealing with friends, sometimes we do. I have been in a situation where I have developed feelings for a friend. It turned out horrendously bad. I actually no longer speak to that friend. But I completely I was completely unaware of exactly what I felt at the time. And again, lots of shadow work came off the back of it years after. But I completely had no idea what I was feeling. And I completely, looking back, I misconstrued friendship as being a potential of something else. And, I live and learn, and I still live and I learnt. I think he's probably in a similar situation in that I don't think he genuinely knows whether this is a friend or whether this is a potential something else. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. Thank you very much for your question. Right then, shall we have another round? I think we should. Kelsey Wells, good evening to you. Nanette, I hope you're still in there in the chat sometime. I hope you're feeling better soon, my darling. You're tired, so you're going to go and get some sleep. I hope you feel very well soon, my love. I really, really do. Very, very much wish the best for you and Jack. So yeah, I hope you're feeling okay, and I hope your nan's okay as well. We haven't heard an update from you in a while, so I hope everything is going okay. Right then, just before we go to another round, yep, just before we open up another round, if you know me, you know that I love with a capital L and a capital love. I love horror movies. I love them. Halloween is my favourite season. It is coming up. You might think, oh, it's ages away. It's not. It's like 2 months. 2 months till October starts. But spooky season will be here in like 6 weeks' time. It'll all start being in the shops. Spooky season. In the shops, there will be lots more of this lovely stuff that I have behind me. It's all coming into the shops very, very soon. And I love this time of year. And anyway, horror movies. If you like your horror movies, check this out.
Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones.
It is coming. Necronomicon. Strange tales of the supernatural and the unearthly when the fabled Necronomicon unleashes his ancient secrets.
The secrets of the Necronomicon do not come cheap.
Necronomicon.
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
Ask your question now. Send your question as a super chat to guarantee your 3-card reading is next. Donations of $10 or £8 or over will receive a longer 6 or 7 card reading. To try for a free reading, write your question in the live chat starting with the word question. If no super chats come in, a free question will be chosen at random. And if you need help, just ask one of our mods.
Absolutely. I don't know whether you heard the alarm go off then. But the next round is in fact open. Do go ahead if you haven't done already. Pop your question in the live chat. A couple of people did. Do we have, keeper of the questions, do we have somebody selected, please? We do. Let me just have a look for that person. Oh gosh, my chat is running so slow. Here we go. NRA. Oh, bye, Melinda, my love. Have a good evening. We'll hopefully see you on Sunday. NRA. I can't even find the question. There we go. NRA 00. Question: will I get a new job before the end of 2025? When is it and what kind of job? Let's have a look at that for you, my darling. It's a bit difficult with a 3-card reading to get any real nuance. I guess we'll have to do it almost in just shuffle and face up. Why don't you, Lisa? That's a good way of doing it. Okay, hang on, Wispy. Let me cleanse. There we go. So then, I don't think there's a way of answering this in a 3-card, my darling, in all honesty. Okay. I tell you what. I've got one to look at. Your career obstacle. Your position and opportunity. Let's see. Wispy. What I want to do, Wispy, is... Okay, let's flip it. Let's flip it. Wispy, we're going to look at the work opportunity, so in other words, whether there is a job opportunity this year, what that job might look like, any pointed towards a field, and oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. It's too vague. Come on, Whisper. You know the question. How are we going to answer this? How can I interpret this type of question? We'll go with... as if this is the one that's stumping me. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just break it down. We'll break it down, Wispy, into single cards. That's what we'll do. We'll break it down into single cards. Right. Okay. So we need to be as definite as possible on here as we can be. Right. As definite as possible. As definitive. We want to know with some very definitive cards. So the first question, Wispy, is going to be, is NRA 00 going to get a job this year? Is there a job before the end of the year? Knight of Wands, Knight energy is very much go-getting, is a journey. It's talking about absolutely, it's a youthful teenage type vibe. So I do think it might be something more entry level rather than something that you're going into as a managerial position. It feels like something you're going to have to perhaps there's some sort of move or some sort of journey involved. Wands is talking very much about your confidence, so I think you need to go into whichever, how can I put it, whichever area gives you the most confidence in life, whatever you are most assured with, whatever you are most confident about, whatever you are most sure of, that's what you need to head towards, right? But it may well be a few weeks or months even, because this is saying there is a journey here. The Knight on the skateboard, this isn't going to happen soon, but you need to be prepared to go quickly when it does happen, right? Okay. When are we looking at, Wispy? Are we looking at... so there is something coming this year. Can we narrow down the time scale? Can we narrow down the time scale? That doesn't help at all. Is that 6 weeks? Because it can't be 6 months, because there's not even 6 months left. I don't think that's going to be 6 weeks. I'm getting the strongest vibe. Both of these cards are giving me this idea of travel. I don't know whether that's like commute to work travel or whether that's in a different area travel. They're, both of these cards, the first word that came up in my brain when I realized what the card was, oh, it's about travel, it's about movement, it's about this journey, it's about moving. There are going to be some difficulties along this road, though. There are going to be some troubles. Because of the swords, there are going to be some difficulties. I don't think it's within 6 weeks at all. So let's take that out of the equation. I think this will probably be more towards the back end of the year. Any idea what kind of job? Any idea of the area? Oh, again, swords. Again. Thank you, Holland. Oh, yeah, we've had a super chat come in. Thank you very much for that. Let me have a look. Okay, Miss C, I'll get to that in just a second. Okay, NRA 00. You are right. Okay, right. Wispy, I think I've got you. This isn't career. This is a job. Right? This isn't career. This is a job. There is going to be a situation where you're just going to have to get a job. You just need a job. Right? This Ace of Swords, it's not a job that you're going to want necessarily. It's not a job that you are going to be, you know, I'm using all my qualifications and my life experience for this job and it's going to be my career and I'm very happy. It's not that. It's not that. There is going to be a situation by the end of this year where you just need a job. You just need something to pay the bills. That's going to be the reality of this. This Ace of Swords, this is not something you want to be doing. It's not something that's going to feel particularly comfortable. It's not something that you're probably thinking right now, right? It's a bit like you might have a degree in bioengineering and the job will be assistant manager at a McDonald's. Now, there's nothing wrong with an assistant manager at a McDonald's job. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It probably pays really well, you know, all the rest of it, benefits and all of those things. But it isn't what you would necessarily use a degree in bioengineering for. But it's going to be a case of that you need to pay bills, you need to pay rent, you need to pay whatever. You need to just take the job. It's not going to be your career. But it absolutely does feel as if there's a bit of movement coming up, a bit of travel coming up. And listen, be careful, because that Six of Swords, if I'm brutally honest with you, it almost feels like if you're working right now, it almost feels like you're asking the question because you want to get a better job. Be careful, because that Six of Swords almost feels like you might be forced into that job that isn't in your field, that Ace of Swords is bringing up, because it almost feels like your current position might not be available all year, may well end. You may well be in a position where you've got to take a very, very different job that you aren't necessarily going to be enjoying or looking for because you need to pay the bills. It's that sort of vibe I'm getting. This doesn't feel like a career jump. It doesn't feel like a promotion. It doesn't feel like, you know, you've gone from one company to the next and the next company are giving you a bigger office and a bigger salary and a company car. It feels almost as if, you know, your department is going to get restructured and be folded into the existing department or the existing company, and then you're going to be in that position where you'll apply for anything and any job that comes up will help. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really, really do. Okay, thank you, Patricia. That's interesting. Yeah, I hope that helps, NRAA. And yeah, thank you very, very much. Right, Miss C, let's have a wee look. Does Harsh, the guy you've been talking to, like you? Would he be... hang on, what? Does Harsh, the guy you've been talking to, like you? Would he be a good match? Okay, my darling, let's have a wee look at that for you. before I do, let me just... absolutely no problem at all. NRA00, no problem at all for you, my darling. I hope it helps. I really, really, really do. It's one of those difficult situations. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those difficult bits. But yeah, I hope it helps. Right then, so... where are we going? Where am I going? Miss C, there we go. Right, Wispy. Miss C wants to know, does the guy they've been talking to like them? And would he be a good match? So, does Harsh, the guy that Miss C has been talking to, is Harsh a good match for Miss C? And is he a good match? Does he like Miss C, and is he a good match? Right then, Wispy, let's have a wee look. So this will be the last reading tonight, everybody. Don't forget to join me on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, or 6 o'clock for the members. Our weekly members only from 6 till 7 every single week. And the last Friday of the month, normally that's when we have our Friday Night Natter. It's our longer 2-hour session where we do, you can almost do an Ask Me Anything, where members get longer readings or whatever. We go through an awful lot in the members only chats. Sometimes they're a bit, you know, contemplative. Sometimes we go through some readings for the members. Sometimes we talk about all sorts of other witchy and spiritual stuff. It all varies every week. So yeah, we'll see. Right then, and that will probably be on the 25th, it looks like, just looking at my calendar, the day after the full moon. That's interesting. I'm assuming that's full moon. Anyway, let's have a look. So, Miss C, let's do it, Wispy. Does Harsh have feelings for Miss C? Does he like Miss C? And are they going to be a good match? So it'll be a 3-card reading, my darling, because it's less than $10 or £8 British. And let's have a look for you. So then we go with, what are we going to look at? Where you are, what you need to know, what the opportunity is. That seems to make the most sense. So then, where you are. Oh, the Lovers reversed. Interesting. What you need to know. 4 of Cups. Ooh. And the outcome? The Moon. Right, okay. In a 3-card spread, my darling, you have 2 major arcana cards. Now, what does that mean? I don't know whether you've ever had a tarot reading before, but for me, the major arcana are the big shouty cards. These are the cards that you often see on TV and movies. These are the ones that are basically the heavy hitters. These are the ones that have the how can I put it? These are the ones that are the big deal cards, right? So you've got 2 out of a possible 22 in a 3-card reading. So somebody else can do the maths on that. However, it means these are 2 important cards. So where you both are right now, we do have the Lovers, right? So I would say that is good, positive, a positive vibe energy. However, it's reversed. Now, what this is telling me is that although there is a connection here, it might not be the best match in the whole world, right? It might not be a long-term match. In fact, I almost want to say to you, enjoy it while it lasts. Have fun. Don't go wedding dress shopping. Does that make sense? It almost feels like that with this card, because the Lovers normally is a really potent card, right? It talks about having that deep spiritual connection. It talks about all of this wonderful thing, this connectivity with another person, or in this deck, with our shadow self, with ourselves. So it can be a really deep and strong connection. But this is reversed. And for me, this throws a whopping great big spanner into the works. And that is basically saying, look, there is a connection. Whether that connection is going to become, turn into, grow into a healthy, functional, positive relationship for the two of you, that I'm not so sure about. There are feelings here. But because your second question of that is, will it be a good match? I can't say it will be. I can't say it won't. But this reversal is making me question that, my darling. I don't know whether that helps. Where you are right now leads us to what you need to know. Okay? Cups again is your emotional suit. So that's kind of what you would want to see here. Fours for me are about stability, which may sound like a really positive thing. Like, you know, this is going to be a stable relationship. However, this card is reversed as well, my darling. And what this is saying is that far from it being stable, it's going to feel stagnant, or is kind of already feeling that way. And that could be because of this reversal. Stagnancy in terms of this card is talking about there not being that spark, there not being that enjoyment. Instead of this being like a lovely pool of water, where we've got water in tarot. Whenever you see water on a card, it means emotions, because water is the element that cups is linked to. So we've got this water element, we've got this pond, this whatever this is, bit of angle of a river or swamp, whatever. We can see this cup here. We've got these two other cups, bottles, jars, whatever you want to call them. This is the fourth one. This way up, it's talking about things being stable, going along, bobbing along perfectly fine. This way up, that stagnancy, this water becomes mosquito-ridden. This water becomes smelly and stagnant and stale, which means the spark for this romance, the spark of this energy, that life, that vitality has either gone out of it already or has never been there. And when we look at where you are with this reversed lovers card, and we look at this sort of behind the scenes, what you need to know about the situation, these two don't bode well for a happy, loving relationship. So again, this idea of there being a positive match doesn't really feel very strong. And then we get the moon coming up in the future opportunity position, and for me the moon is a card that talks about coming out of a dark place. It talks about lighting the path ahead, finding our way through the forest in this case, waiting for that full moon to shine the light so we can see the way out. There's a certain element of spirituality with this as well. So I don't know whether this is reflective of your own journey with spirituality, or whether it's reflective of Harsh's journey with spirituality, but it does feel that is a thing. So it may well be that actually one of you almost instinctively knows that this isn't it. There might be a physical attraction. There might be a lot of physical attraction. There might be, you know, a situationship here. But it certainly doesn't feel as if it goes any more than skin deep, put it that way. And when we look at the moon and we look at what it teaches us to stop and listen, consider that spiritual essence, consider our connectivity with spirit, with our soul, with ourselves. But it also potentially gives us a time scale, because the moon would indicate 28 days, that monthly cycle. So it could well be that this could even be indicating, my darling, that it might not even last a month. So when I say enjoy it for what it is while it is, that is literally what I mean, my darling. It doesn't necessarily mean that in a month you'll have no contact, but it does feel very much like this is almost trying to give you an out. This is almost trying to give you a path away. And whether that's coming up in that month scale, I think that might be something to look at. It definitely feels as if there is there's an exit strategy involved, put it that way. So to completely answer your question, I don't know whether he likes you, or whether it's a physical connection, or whether this is maybe a little bit one-sided. Maybe you like him more than he likes you, or vice versa. Whichever way that disconnect plays, you've got an option, and a very strong option within the next month for you to find that path out of there and head towards something very different. I hope that helps, my darling. I'm sorry it isn't hearts and flowers and love and romance that perhaps you were looking for, but I always say that I can only give you the readings that the cards give me, and that I can only give you what you need to know, not necessarily what you want to hear. And I do hope that helps. If nothing else, my darling, it gives you a little bit of insight into what 3 out of the 78 bits of card put down face up on a table by a tarot reader on the internet is suggesting. But again, you do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and as it does say down the bottom, tarot is only for entertainment purposes only. I hope that helps, but that is going to be it for this evening, everybody. It is now bang on 9 p.m. Okay, my darling, it feels then that you are going your own way forward, and I hope that that is right for you. No problem at all, Miss C. Thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much for your donation. And as I say, all donations, once YouTube takes its 30% off the top, whatever is left coming through to us, we donate 10% to the PDSA, which is the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, and we donate another 10% to the Albert Kennedy Trust, which is a UK charity for LGBTQIA+ youth who are experiencing or in danger of experiencing homelessness. So those that is where the money goes to, and anything that's left we plough back into the channel. But thank you very much for being here, everybody. I do hope to see you all again. If not Sunday, then maybe at some point in the future. As I say, I will be back on Sunday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, 6 p.m. UK time for the members only live for our lovely members. And there will be a video coming up in just a couple of seconds that tell you how you can join our membership, how you can become one of the crows. But before I do, all that's left for me to say is to say thank you ever so much for watching. Thank you very much to the subscribers for subscribing. Thank you to everybody who asked a question or sent a super chat, and of course a huge thank you to our members, and my biggest thanks of all, as always, go out to the moderators, without whom I would not have a channel and be able to do the things I do. So thank you ever so much to the mods, and I will see you all again very soon on Sunday evening or at some point in the future. And until then, have a lovely time. I hope you survive the heat that we're having at the moment, and I will see you on the next one. And as I always say, stay you, stay true, and stay authentic. Bye bye.
Join the Crow Collective. Help to support this channel by becoming a member here on YouTube. From £2.99 per month, you will gain access to members-only perks, live streams, competitions, sneak peeks, and more. Just click on Join for more information. Thank you to all our members.
They're witches.
So, apparently I'm a witch.
Cause she's a witch.
We've got a witch!
I'm the love witch.
I am a witch.
I am a witch. I'm a witch.
Sally just came out.
Now the witch is back!